Hey, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Servant RD, Ramant Kohaya, Kingdom of Heaven is at hand. And I'm here with another video. The following message that you're about to watch and listen to is the remnant of a message that I just did about 30 minutes ago. During the process of altering it and producing it, I lost the first 3 minutes of the video. And so this is like an introduction to the message that the Father gave me entitled Fortified. That being said, without further ado, I will proceed with the message and hope you receive some form of edification. Peace. As you already have heard me say many times before, that the Father put us in Christianity. He hid us in Christianity, as it says in Judges, the 2nd chapter, and I believe the 20th verse, how the Most High said, since you want to be like the other nations and keep tampering around with their gods and their deities, then I'm going to allow you to experience those other gods and those other deities that you continue to mess with. And that's what happened to us. And now that we're at a time where the Most High is re-establishing our stance on the world stage and recommitting us back to Him, we are witnessing all kinds of changes that are occurring. And many people, they get discouraged. And you have many preachers that have somewhat adopted this truth and have accepted this truth somewhat, but they still holding on to Christianity. They still holding on to the doctrines, those damnable doctrines that Christianity taught us, because it was full of lies. You cannot teach truth and totally deny the covenant people. You can't do that, or redirect or assign the covenant people to a people that doesn't have the covenant of the Most High. That's a lie. That's a fabrication. And whenever you mixed this word with fabrications, then it's not true and it's not whole. And so we as a people, we have been ordered to come out of those belief systems, and we all are trying to feel our way. We receive all kind of criticisms, fault finding, and accusations, all kind of flack from all different elements and factions, but it's all done by design. And so I just wanted to touch on, I was moved to do this video to let all those who have been called to this walk with the Most High, you've been fortified. No matter what comes or go in these times of uncertainty, you must understand, let me say these times of so-called uncertainty, we must understand these are nothing but developments and transitions and transformations and revisions that the Father is allowing to occur, because He's reestablishing His people back to their rightful place. No matter how things may look, no matter how untrue this statement may look to the bare eyes and corporeally, looking at things from a materialistic perspective, people may believe and people may conclude that this, what's going on these times, these people, everything is just going south and everything is changing, and we need to prepare ourselves for the change, instead of preparing ourselves and our minds for what the Most High is doing. See, if you have a preacher that's always talking about the events that's happening, and that take precedence over what the Most High has said in His word and what the Most High has established through His word and through the current events, then what the preacher or minister is actually doing is promoting another agenda, an agenda outside of what the Most High has ordained. And so we must understand, the times that is shifting. People talk about Biden. I was talking to some co-workers, and they was telling me about Agenda 2030 and how they are in full throttle in implementing this Agenda 2030. Before, when I was in college, I gave a presentation on Agenda 21. Now that 2021 has passed, they have implemented another agenda, the United Nations, and they have implemented an agenda from the Department of Economic and Social Affairs. And when you talk about the United Nations, it's all the nations combined. They want to transform the world. And they got this thing that they call sustainable development. You see it all over the place. And this Agenda 2030 is an action plan, and it's for the people to promote prosperity and to seek and strengthen universal peace. Come on now. We all know what the word says in Thessalonians. It say, when they shall say peace and safety, so total destruction shall come upon them. But you have an agenda that's being pushed by the United Nations on bringing people together. They say they're going to end poverty and hunger, when Yahshua said that you will always have the poor with you. And they want to re-establish the planet and to reclaim it. And so everything that you see that is going on in our world today, I guarantee you that it ties into with this Agenda 2030. But we must not fret. We must not lose hope, because we've been fortified. The Father has given us something that will sustain us. The Father has fortified us with protection, and he has strengthened us, those of us who've been called. You must understand that. Get that in your mind. Although we see frustration and we see all kinds of chaos that's erupting, we see things happening all over the world. We see the politicians, they have grown calloused. People talk about food shortages. Dissatisfaction is just breeding all throughout the land. They say they're taking away our rights. They want to control every facet of our lives. And then when you have preachers that's speaking on this and not bringing hope that the Most High's hand is involved, the Most High is allowing these things to be so, and he's allowing these revolutions, if you will, to occur because he has an agenda. That Agenda 21 or Agenda 2030 cannot cancel out. It cannot negate the Father's agenda and cannot neutralize it. No agenda on earth can stop what the Most High has ordained. And this is what we must understand. This is where we are. So as you see things begin to transform and you see our world change right before our eyes, understand that the birth and pains of this earth is really happening because the sons of the Most High must be revealed. And that's where we are. I'm reminded of what happened to me back in 2012, I believe. I went through a difficulty where my basement flooded, and the sump pump stopped working and water was coming up through cracks, and it was a trying time. I had to throw a lot of stuff away. But none of you have ever heard me harp on that. I went through it, and we endured it and moved on. And then again, it went out again in 2015. I guess 3 years later, 2015. This time my wife and I, we were in New York, and it was during the holiday season. It was the end of the year in December, and we were in New York. And when it rained real hard and the sump pump went out, and it was a blessing that my youngest son, Rashad, was still here. He was living here in 2015. He called us and told us while we were in New York He told us, he said, the basement is flooded. That was a trying time, y'all. There was no way we can get all the way back to St. Louis in time. Even if we rented a car and tried to drive back, it would have took us so many hours to get back. And we needed to fix the problem right then and there. And so the organization that I was in, I called because it was on a Sunday, and I was a part of this program in this organization. I called the gentleman that was in charge of the organization to tell him my situation. When I called him, the first thing he said, because it was right when the broadcast was about to start, and I called him to let him know that I wasn't going to be a part of the broadcast. But as soon as he answered the phone, it's getting ready to start, man. The program get ready to start. The broadcast get ready to start. I mean, he hit the panic button. And I told him, I say, look, man, I'm having flooding issues at my home. I'm in New York. Tried to explain to him. And he said, well, just do what you do, man. And, you know, he went on to do the broadcast. And one of the sources that I thought that I could rely on to at least bring some kind of comforting words to the situation just totally brushed me off. And a few months before, this individual, he lost his job, and he was online, and we were all in this room together online. I think it was WebEx or something like that, and we were talking about it. And he was, you know, kind of venting, and he felt bad on what they had done, his employer, how they had gotten rid of him and lied on him. And we all had to, you know, we felt the need to encourage him. But when it was time to return the favor, he didn't do it. And so I had to hang up, and I called back to St. Louis and started calling various places, plumbing, you know, places that businesses, and everybody was booked, and it looked like a dire situation. But I called this one particular this business that was in the vicinity of my neighborhood. And I called the business. The guy picked up, and he said, I'm out to do a job, but since you so close by, we'll stop at your house. Man, I was relieved. He came by, he called me, and he fixed the issue. He sucked the water out. He did all that. And then he just charged me $150. The previous year when I had that issue, this Hebrew plumber came over, and he had to suck some of the water out of the, you know, sump pump, because it was full, it was overflowing. And, you know, because I was in dire straits, and this was like 2012, because I was in that situation, that Hebrew guy, he tried to charge me $800 just to do that. I said, come on, man. And then he went down to about, you know, $600. Well, this Gentile, he said, man, that just would be $150. I told Rashad, I said, man, give him more than that, because of him being so generous and being so helpful. And the situation was that seemed to be grim and seemed like we were in a hopeless situation. It turned out that it panned out. And so I said that because of the things that we're going through. People have found themselves with their homes being flooded out, you know, experienced all kinds of situations that are occurring through that rain. A lot of people, they still have been misplaced, and they still haven't received any help from the flooding that occurred. The flooding that we experienced, it wasn't as bad as some people, but it was bad enough, that last one, because we were in New York, and the only thing we could do is just trust the Most High. Little did I know that the Father had it all under control. We were fortified. So I just want to encourage the brothers and sisters to let them know that we are fortified. And what I mean by fortified, the Father has put something in us. And he put it in us long ago. Let me draw your attention to John 14 and 27. This is Yahshua. He was speaking. He's speaking to his disciples and giving them words of affirmation, words of comfort, letting them know that there was something that was given to them that the world didn't have. Now, I just told you through Agenda 2030, the world talking about peace. They're talking about peace and they're talking about bringing people together. But we all know that none of those things are going to occur because of this scripture right here. This is Yahshua speaking to his disciples. He say, peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. It goes on to say, let me scroll down to the KJV. It's saying, peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. Now check this out. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. The world, the structured order, they call it peace, but guess what? They don't have peace for you. They have nothing for you but trouble. They don't have the formula to bring peace to anyone. The only peace that you are experiencing, that peace that comes from the Most High. This is why Yahshua say, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Then he say, not as the world gives, do I give you. And then he goes on to say, let not your heart be troubled. Then he said, neither let it be afraid. And this is why I'm so adamant about anyone that want to spread fear into people's heart and magnify the situations that's going on more and over and beyond and over what the Most High said through our master, our teacher, our king. He say peace. This word peace is really shalom. And shalom, it's a multi-dimensional word. The connotation of the word means wholeness. It means complete. It means well-being, and it means to be reconciled with the Most High. There is no chaos in the Most High. There is no confusion in the Most High. When you reconciled with him, Yahshua said that the peace that comes from the Most High, he said, I would leave with you. He said, this peace is not of the established order that you in, but this peace comes from the Most High. It's shalom. And see, when you deal with the word shalom, not only is it multi-dimensional, and not only does it mean steadfast or have a connotation of being steadfast, wholeness, and complete, and comforted in him, the pictorial meaning of the word is like teeth, to be nourished. So when you talk about nourishment, you're talking about feeding, you're talking about the intake. When you eat food, it goes down your esophagus, go in the stomach, and then you begin to metabolize the food and receive energy. Well, this piece that Yahshua left with us, it must be metabolized. Even though it's in you, it must be activated and triggered. And how is this piece activated and triggered? It's activated and triggered through circumstances and situations that happens in our lives as children of the Most High, because the Father is restoring us. And that's why this message is entitled Fortified. We've been fortified. We've been reinforced. And our King, Yahshua, he told us, he said, peace I leave with you. And then he said, my peace I give to you. My shalom, this nourishment, although there may be heaviness of heart, this shalom. Now you think about it, shalom. When you look at the Hebrew word shalom, it's a shin, which make the SH sound, and it's the lamed, which make the L sound, then the mem, which makes the M sound. When you put it together, it's shalom. Shalom. The shin is the nourishment, it's the receiving. You receive this peace by reminding yourself of what the Father said in His word. When the situation becomes grim, when the situation becomes heavy, understand this is the Father using triggers to activate that peace that is within you. Hear me well. Then when you go to the lamed, the the lamed is in pictographic form. It's a staff, something that you lean on, something that you rely on, something that you trust. You trust in the word, what Yahshua said. He said, peace I leave with you for a reason, because he knew that things were going to get so out of pocket, and he knew that things was going to get so chaotic that we as a people would need to lean and rest on some type of assurance and certainty. And that's why he said, peace I leave with you. We've been fortified. Then when you look at the mem, which makes the M sound, shalom, mem. Mem represents water. Water represents people. When people, the waves roaring, and people are distressed, the stress of nations, as Yahshua said, this peace is a propeller. It propels you. It navigates you through the chaos and the confusion. And not only does it navigate, it organizes chaos that's in your life and makes sense of it. Are you listening to me? Hear me well, people. I'm taking my time because this is a message today. And I was moved by the Spirit to give this message. I'm not only giving it to you, I'm receiving it myself because it came today. You must understand that we have been fortified with shalom, with peace. And this peace, it activates our faith. This peace denotes coming and going. As you come, this peace is with you. As you go, this peace is with you. This is why Paul was motivated to write, follow peace with all men. And then it said, and holiness and set apartness. Because there is no other way. If you don't follow this, you will not see the Most High. And when they say you will not see the Most High, you will not visually see him in your circumstances. Because the Most High, he has the answer. He is in control, and nothing will trump what the Most High has assigned and appointed. There are seasons that have been appointed by the Most High, and nothing can cancel that out. Nothing can negate it. Are you listening to me? Hear me well, people. We've been fortified. So, as anxiety may set in and heavy-heartedness become more prevalent in our lives, understand it's nothing but a trigger. They are nothing but triggers to activate that peace that we have been fortified by the Most High. The Most High is in control no matter what. Let me take your attention to Revelation, the 5th chapter, and you look at the first verse. And this is Yakanah, John. He was given a vision, things that were happening that he couldn't see with his naked eye. But once the Father gave him vision, and last week I talked about an intuitive, I just used the terminology of today, but it's nothing but vision. It's nothing but insight. When the Most High and our brother and our King came and gave him this vision, he saw things. In Revelation 5:1, it said, "And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals." There's a book that was written, and it represents everything that's happening in the earth, everything that's happening in the heavens, everything that is happening underneath the earth. How do you know that? Look at verse 2. "And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof?" So there's a book that denotes everything, every event, every occurrence. And this strong angel was making a proclamation, letting John and the whole world, and everyone that's in this scenario, showing them that they had no power. People, they think that the people on the earth, they think that they got the power to change things, but they have no power. Revelation, the 5th chapter, in the 2nd verse, shows us that the angel was proclaiming and asking the question. And then when you get to verse 3, it says, "And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon." They couldn't even look at it. So as you look at this Agenda 2030, and you look at all the transitions going, Biden doing what we do, the Trump and all the politicians and all the transformations and all the things, the freedoms that seem like they trying to take away. And you see that the preachers trying to scare the people into following them, to do certain things. All of this, we must follow the Most High Yah. Because no one in heaven, nor in earth, verse 3, neither under the earth was able to open a book, neither to look thereon. Verse 4, "And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon." Then you look at verse 5, it say, "And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the seals, the 7 seals thereof." There was only one, our King, the Lion of Judah, who was able to do this. So as you see the transformations, you see the transitions and all the developments that's happening before us, understand, brothers and sisters, that this is coming from the Most High. He allowing these things to occur because he has an agenda that cannot be trumped. Look at verse 5. "And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb, as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Yah, sent forth into all the earth." 7, the number of completion. This is why Yahshua say, "Peace I leave with." We've been fortified to understand that the Father's in control. That's why peace has been given to us. Activate it, brothers and sisters. Believe the word. When things get so far out of your control, understand that you got peace that's within you that can be activated. And you must chew on it. It must be nourishment to your spirit. You must metabolize that peace that's within you. It's nothing but dependency and credence to the Most High. That's what peace really is. Because it doesn't come from us. Yahshua, he came in his father's name, so it came from the Father. Check it out. Verse 7, and he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat on the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints. The chosen prayers. See, you are witnessing the realms of Christendom being brought down because the Father's bringing it down, because there are too many lies, and you can't hold on. You have some people want to hold on to this and criticize that and hold on to that and criticize this. You got to let it go and trust the Most High. He put peace within us, and you cannot let these preachers, you cannot let these camp leaders lead you astray. You have some camp leaders scaring the people and saying, you sell your home, sell everything you have, and come to my camp. When Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, in the 68th verse, it say, no man shall buy you. No man shall save you. You run into these camps thinking there's salvation and think there's going to be utopia, when the Father has given us example after example with Father Divine. He gave us example, especially with Jim Jones, taking people out and people trusting him. And look what happened. No man. Yahshua said, peace I give you, brothers and sisters. Listen to what I'm saying and hear me well. You say, peace I give you. And you run into the preacher and you run into the camp leader thinking pastor going to take care of you. You're going to find yourself in a worse situation because only the Father, he's in control. You see, no man in heaven or anyone that's going to try to lord himself over the people, you better recognize the 3 warnings, the 4 warnings that Yahshua gave. Take heed that no man deceive you. In the 24th chapter of Matthew, you got to walk this thing out. The Father has given you peace. Now, the Father's word come. You can feed off the word, but you must feed off. The Father is breaking these systems down, man. He took it and he began. There was no one able to take that book that was in the Most High Yah's hand. Only one that was able to take that book was our brother, our King, our Messiah, Yahushua. You must understand that. And if you read on in the 5th chapter of Revelation, you see how he began to break open the seals. When you go on into the 6th chapter, after he took the book, they began to sing and praise and praises and to extol and honor the one that was able to take the title deed of the earth and everything that's within the earth, to allow things to occur so the Father's divine order could commence. You must understand, man, how deep this thing go. Now, the Father, he has given us these tools for us to propel and to navigate through these goings-ons and these transformations. And he wants us to steer and to maneuver and travel with a steady pace. Peace allow us to do that. And within this peace, our faith is activated. When you look at Romans, the 12th chapter, in the 3rd verse, the last part of that verse, it says, according as Yah has dealt to every man the measure of faith. It start off by saying, for I say, through the grace given unto me, that to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as Yah has dealt to every man the measure of faith. You know, you had leaders and calling themselves bishops. You haven't seen so many bishops today. Everybody trying to be something so high and mighty. Everybody just scraping and scrambling and reaching, pushing and shoving for a title. Those titles means nothing. means nothing. People trying to be bishops, people trying to be prelates, people trying to. The scriptures say, "Let no man think highly." And you have at one point in time, you had preachers paying each other to get a title, thinking themselves to be more high than what they ought to think. Not understanding the depthness of this scripture where it say every man was given the measure of faith. Faith is like a nail. You nail a picture, or nail a poster, or nail something to the wall, or rivet something when you put a billboard up on display. It's riveted, it's nailed. The thing that holding that billboard, or picture, or poster, or whatever you may have exposed, what's holding that up is a type and figure of faith. You holding up, and it must be nailed. Everyone has been given a nail, the measure. Some people have been given a small nail. Some people have been given a stake. But you have the measure of faith. This is why Yahshua say, if you have faith of the mustard seed, your nail, what are you nailing your trust, your reliance, your dependency? What are you nailing it into? Yes, we should understand what's going on, but we should know that peace has been given to us, not as the world giveth. Everyone been given a nail, according to Romans 12:3. We all have it. Some of us got a nail, some of us got a small tack, some of us got a stake. Whatever you have is sufficient. This is why Paul said, through the grace have been given to me. This is why Paul said that, because he understood, because the Most High told him, my grace is sufficient, which activates the nail, the stake, whatever you have. You put it in the Father. If you got a small nail, it's just as good as somebody with a stake. Your hammer, your trust, and your credence in the Most High. Guess what? You in a source that no one can touch, because we already witnessed through the word that no one was able to take the scroll out of the hand of the Most High. And Yahshua said, peace I give you. We fortified, brothers and sisters. No Agenda 21, no Biden, no politician, no election. None of the things that the world is using against, or they're using to further their agenda, would neutralize what the Father has already ordained. You need to believe it. You need to understand it. The peace, it denotes dexterity, and you interconnect it with the Most High. And then this activity going about, when they say going and coming, as you go and you come, your trust and your faith is in what the Most High said, no, regardless of what the situation is. I had to trust the Most High when my basement was flooding and I was in New York. You can't tell me nothing about that. I know we had to trust the Most High. And I thank him, even in my frailties. He's faithful. This is why Yahshua said in Matthew, the 6th chapter, in the 25th verse, he said, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not life more than meat, and a body than raiment? Behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his stature? And why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. Yet I say unto you, that even Solomon in all of his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Wherefore, if Yah so clothe the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith. Therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. This is how the Gentiles taught us to follow their format and their roadmap as they try to navigate through this state of confusion that we call the world and the current state of affairs that we are in. I should say the Gentiles seek after those things. He goes on to say, for your heavenly Father knows that ye have need of these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of Yah and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added. What did he say? Seek the kingdom. When you see things are going sideways in your life, the kingdom, which represent peace, understand, peace that he gave you, you seek into that. And the only way you can seek that is to give your total reliance to him, because you're limited. You cannot control the things that are in the world. You must be connected to the Most High. You've been fortified, brothers and sisters. Understand that. Because if you fail to realize that, if you fail to understand Proverbs 12 and 25 is speaking to you, you start allowing current affairs that are happening in the world. If you allow those things to dictate your decision and your direction, guess what? Proverbs 12 and 25 is speaking to you. Heaviness in the heart of man make it stoop. It brings you down. Stoop means depression. You find yourself with anxiety and debasement. You find yourself being frustrated. That's why you see rich people. They got money, but they frustrated. People with good occupations and with all kinds of possession, they frustrated because material wealth. I heard Mike Tyson tell someone that was interviewing him. He said, riches do not make you happy. And then he told that individual, if you think riches and wealth makes you happy, you haven't had any riches. That was a deep statement. He said, if you think riches make you happy, you haven't had riches. Mike Tyson said, I've had all kinds of money. When I lost it all, I began to realize happiness is not found in that. Remember Michael Jackson? Even the rich life, I don't want it. Happiness ain't always material things. I want destiny. I know I'm off. I'm making a point. Michael Jackson say, if it's a rich life, he didn't want it. He wanted destiny. He wanted peace. But he bought into the world, and Yahshua said, peace I leave with you, peace I give, my peace I give to you, not as the world giveth. He was confused. He had heaviness of heart. He had gotten to the point where he needed to take medicine, fentanyl or whatever you call that stuff. I'm saying it wrong. But he needed to take powerful medicine just to go to sleep. Medicine that they use to sedate people when they operating on them. He had to take that to try to sleep, and he still didn't have peace because he was being plagued in his sleep because he didn't have peace. Because this peace is only activated when you trust and depend on the Most High and nothing else. So Proverbs 25, I keep saying 25, Proverbs 12 and 25 says, heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop, but a good word maketh it glad. It makes the heart of man glad when they hear a good word. You've been fortified with the word. In the word, peace is activated. Faith is activated. You are fortified. Understand, brothers and sisters. When you look at 2 Timothy 1 and 7, Paul told Timothy, Yah has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power. When you got faith in the Most High, you got faith in the power of the one and the only one that is controlling everything that's happening in this earth realm, in the heaven realm, and beneath the earth realm. When you deal with the kingdom, he says, seek ye first the kingdom. And the kingdom consists of everything that's in the heaven, everything that's in the earth, everything that's beneath the earth. It's the Father's order that must be reestablished in all those dimensions. So it says the Most High Yah have not given us spirit of fear, cowardice. You got too many people instilling fear. That's all we had when we grew up in church. Oh, saints, you better watch this. Oh, saints, you better watch that. Oh, and then I ain't talking about fear of the Most High. I'm talking about just scared to do anything. That time is over. Time is done. We must trust in the Most High, and he will sustain us. That's true sustainable development. You developing your trust in the Most High, and you will be sustained. Father's power and love. Love conquers all. We talk about love, we talk about the Most High. It always point back to the Most High. We nothing without him. But through him, all things are possible. And not through religious activities. People think that if they do religious activity, you got to do this and you got to do that. When we were taught back in the day, my father used to teach, we got to be upright before the Lord. And he would teach us, but he said, the Jews one day, all they will have to do is just return to the Most High. And people used to be like, why they get away? We didn't know that we were the Hebrews. Now we at the time where all we have to do is return to the Most High. Now we want to fall back to all the rituals. Now we want to fall back to all the duties. Now we want to fall back to all these factions that we learn in Christianity. We just can't return to him. Now all of a sudden you got to do all this stuff. It's like married couple. If one spouse live his or her life to their companion, their loved one, and okay, I got to do this now. Okay, now it's time to make love. Now it's time to kiss her. Now it's time to do that. What kind of relationship is that? Father ain't looking for that. And that's what people would try to bring you into. Do not allow people to put fear in you. We flow with the Most High. And the circumstances that come our way, I guarantee you that the Most High is with you if you believe. Power, love, and of a sound mind. And that sound mind is talking about prudence, wisdom, vigilance. Being mentally prepared for whatever comes your way. This message didn't come from me, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you now. It just came to me, and I started studying, and I was led to speak it. It amazed me how the Father uses us, despite of who we are. The Father does what he wants to do. You must understand that. Through your circumstances and through your conditions, Father is building you up. Fortified. Then when you look at Romans, the 8th chapter, in the 18th verse, Paul once again say, for I reckoned that the sufferings, all of the atrocities, all of the changes that we going through, the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory. You talk about glory, you talking about the Father's essence. And where will the Father's essence be revealed? Say, let me read it again. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present times are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in who? In us. This is why Yahshua said the kingdom of Yah is within you. What's within you? The peace Fortified. Stop tripping on all the things that's going on. Be informed. Of course. Understand what's going on, but understand who's behind it. And understand he left peace with us. Fortified. Servant RD. Shalom.